Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I feel that Christina was really getting thrown through the ringer today. I get that Christina could be, some people look at it as passionate and some people look at it as pushy. But generally speaking, her heart is usually in the right place. I don't understand why TJ decided to sit there and snap at her. Um, I don't understand why. Has Molly always been like this? Because I felt like today it was just really out of pocket where she was coming from. She says to Christina, "Oh, you can sit there and give him something that I can't." First of all, did you not have that conversation like, I don't know, a couple of episodes back in the Savoy when she said the exact same thing? And TJ was able to sit there and really kind of get through her, get through her. And usually Molly is the logical one, right? But she tried to make it seem like, oh, you're able to sit there and do something I couldn't, like you're thrown in her face or something. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, and then she comes up and she's all like, oh, you're going to sit there and make this about you, this, that, and the third. Here's the thing. Christina's actually sitting there trying to do something nice for her, okay? She is willing to sit there and practically give up a year of her life to sit there and try to do something good for Molly because Molly can't do it. And all she sits there and says is, oh, you're just being selfish. I, I feel like at this point, this is where the writing just kind of turns to shit, to be honest. Because it's like it's trying to give them extra drama. Where in reality, if she would actually stopped and took a minute to sit there and think, she would have realized that she wasn't trying to throw it in her face. She would have realized that she wasn't sitting there trying to sit there and be selfish. Like, in what way? In what universe is she actually sitting there trying to be selfish? I think she says something along the lines of, when they were at the Savoy, she was sitting there talking about herself. I'm like, okay, well, you didn't want to sit there and talk about, like, the baby stuff, so, like, what the hell are they going to sit there and talk about? She wants to sit there and talk about her shelter and everything like that. So it's like just a lot of things. It's like Molly took everything that she said and did and took it out of pocket and like expanded way longer than it needed to be. And it was just like, what? At first I couldn't understand why Trina ran out the room. Then Stella actually made it make sense. Seeing somebody that you love and hooked up to all those wires, it can get the best out of anyone. Um, The only thing that I feel like is getting a little out of pocket for me, and I guess maybe they're just kind of rushing this thing through, is the fact that now she's sitting there saying my father this and my dad that. When not that long ago, she was very adamant about, Curtis not replacing Taggart. And I get it. This dude that you didn't really know that well, or you knew, but not as well as your dad. You just found out that that's your dad and stuff like that, and she's feeling guilty about all the time that she wasted, or she felt that she wasted, and things of that nature. But I feel like it's just pushing the emotion up. It's like it's trying to fast forward her to a place where they have more of this connection now because of his accident. And I just don't know how to feel about it. I mean, in some ways, I guess it makes sense, but I'm just not used to it. So, like, every time she says things like that, it just feels off to me. Um, it's really bad. I'm gonna tell you something that's really bad. When Nina got there, standing next to Gladys, it's like, as much as I don't like Nina, when you're making Nina look like the heroine in the situation, like when you're making Nina actually look like the good guy in the situation, you messed up. Okay? You messed up. And of course, Gladys being Gladys is that they're trying to um I don't want to say gaslighting, but trying to tell Nina, probably, trying to push Nina, Sasha's not really acting like herself. Like, she's going on this course of backsliding. And that's what she kept something making Sasha feel like at one point, is that she was backsliding from her recovery. Um, Cody got there and he was meant to try and talk to her, but of course he has to sit there and deal with a damn Karen, so, that's just never fun. And when Gladys decided to walk Nina out, and Nina was like, I have two legs, I'm good. Gladys is like, oh, do you think I should sit there and tell the court about what happened at Logan's today or whatever? Like, should I do that? And Nina's like, no. Like, why would you sit there and do that for her? And she literally sits there and tell her, don't do that. Like, that's not gonna sit there and be a good thing for Sasha. It's not gonna be a good thing in general. Don't do that. And again, I'm just like, I'm amazed in this scene because I'm just like, girl, I really don't like you, but it's like when she is actually making you look good, that's the problem. So you got that thing going on, right? Um, Hat Daddy and Stella didn't really do too much of anything except for just being supportive characters, which I guess is fine. There was one point where Stella got up; she seemed like she was kind of dizzy. So I don't know if that's gonna sit there and be a thing at some point. Which is kind of odd because you already got Curtis that's in the hospital, so it's like, are they really gonna sit there and try to have Stella have some sort of health issues on top of the fact that Curtis is in the hospital? I don't know. I don't feel like they will, but the writers at this point or whoever the hell is writing this damn thing, I have no idea. So yes, it was Sam that startled. I mean, it was Mac that started Sam when Sam was sitting there taking pictures and stuff like that of Cody and Miss Wu. They get together, and all they pretty much do is just kind of catch up on Cody and everything. And one of the reasons, well, he says one of the reasons why Mac is not there hesitating on, taking down Miss Wu is because of Cody. He doesn't want to get Cody kind of mixed up in this whole thing. He does sit there and say it's because of lack of evidence and he needs something stronger and stuff like that. But let's be honest, I really do think that the majority of the reason is because of Cody. But Sam is like, yo, listen, at this point, I don't know if we can sit there and save this guy. Like, I think he's just too far deep into whatever Miss Wu is caught up in. Now it's interesting because Mac is like, they're talking about Curtis, and Mac is like, well, whatever's going on, Curtis probably is being forced to do it. And I'm like, force is kind of a strong word because let's be honest, the dude asked for a favor from the dude asked him a favor from Miss Wu, and in exchange, that favor is being reciprocated. So it's like I don't know how much of a forcing of the hand is she really doing. I don't know. I don't know if the court's going to sit there and say it that way. I mean, hell, they locked Drew up like there was no tomorrow. So it's pretty much just kind of open season at that point. Now the last scene, I think I'm gonna sit there and check my notes again. Is the scene with Sonny, Dante, and Anna. And pretty much what I could surmise from this whole scene is that the rifle that Dante was able to sit there and magically trace came from the WSB. While Anna sits there and think that, they wouldn't sit there and try, if they wanted to sit there and take her out, they could do it at any point in time. Doing it at the Metro Court is just way too public. So, this is really pointing towards maybe somebody's coming at Anna at this point. And so now she has to sit there and think about who will come after her. And my whole thing is, I'm going to sit there and assume it's Alex. You know, she worked at the WSB at one point. She would know how to sit there and find, the weapons to sit there and use and try to make it seem like, oh, well, maybe the WSB came after her when it was really Alex. And let's be honest, it's not like she doesn't, it's not like she's lacking motivation for revenge after being shot off of a boat. So I'm feeling like it's Alex at this point, and I don't think that they're gonna sit there and even probably mention her because they didn't mention her when the hell's her name? Uh, when Holly was not there wearing her face, they didn't even sit there and mention it as far as being a possibility. So I don't feel like they're gonna sit there and mention it now. And then when it does come up, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, I'm so surprised!" Like, really, you didn't sit there and think there's a possibility that your sister could have been alive, even when she was in the water. I mean, did you check for a body? No, of course not, because in soap operas, when there's no body, we just automatically assume that they're dead. So yeah, because that just makes sense. Well, let's be honest, it's just easier to write at this point. Um. Oh, also, somebody said in the comment section. I mean, in the live stream yesterday, when Alexis and Sunny got together, Alexis was going to make Sunny the bad guy. But the thing that was just so frustrating about this whole conversation is that she didn't even sit there and call. She didn't even sit there and tell him why she called him. All she said was, "You need to sit there and talk to your daughter, and it needs to come from you because you know I want you to be the bad guy in this scenario." But you don't sit there and say what it is. And so part of this conversation is just kind of stupid because you could have just sat there and just text him for that reason if you're not going to sit there and get into detail. Why sit there, besides the obvious, why sit there and bring this man all the way over there to sit there and say, well, you got to sit there and talk to your daughter. And I need you to be the bad guy. But I can't sit there and say what it is. Okay. Now, Alexis did kind of catch the tail end of this annoying, obnoxious, and unnecessary argument. After Christina walked off and Alexis like, what happened? And Molly just standing there looking stupid. And again, I just feel like this is just so out of character for Molly because she's usually the logical one. Yes, she can get emotional and stuff like that, but not to a point of just I don't want to sit there and say being blatantly stupid, but just being like extremely offended up until a point when you're sitting there taking a nice gesture with what Christina's doing and just sitting there saying, well, you're just sitting there trying to make it about yourself. You just want to sit there and throw it in my face. What? Like none of that actually, that whole conversation made damn zero sense. Like, seriously, it really did. Um, Curtis didn't wake up, so in case you didn't watch the episode, Curtis didn't wake up. He's probably gonna sit there and wake up sometime next week. And I mean, there's probably a good chance he may not be able to walk. They do a paralyzed story until they find a way to make him walk again. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm just not super invested into this Curtis storyline. Just Curtis and Trina and Portia I'm not. I don't care about any of it. Um, and it's just weird. I don't know why I don't care. I mean, granted, yeah, Curtis isn't exactly my favorite character, but this is supposed to be a compelling story. And like for me, I guess it just feels like I don't care. Like I don't care. Um, Also, I feel like most of the stuff that happened yesterday sort of kind of happened today. I mean, they didn't really do too much of anything. They waited for Curtis to sit there and see he was going to make out of surgery. And he's out of surgery, and then nothing still happened. So it's like day two of nothing. I don't know. There's probably so many other reasons why I'm just not invested into a storyline with their storyline, and I can't sit there and think. Well, I think if I probably just talked about too much, I think it'd be like a 40-minute video. So I'm just gonna sit there and take those two reasons for right now. But if I do think of other reasons, you know what I'm gonna sit there and do. Talk about in the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all of them: B&B, Days, YNR, and GH. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't really think of anything else. So, miss anything, you know what I'm gonna do. That being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.